Want to talk more about age and politics and power with two guests who know Washington all too well. Charmaine Yoast is a conservative strategist and veteran of the Trump White House. Bernard Whitman is a Democratic strategist and a former pollster for Bill Clinton. And Mike Bloomberg. Welcome to you both. Let's just get right to it. Charmaine, I'm going to begin with you.
Hey, Ashleigh.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, hey, thanks for being here, said something very interesting, and he is a physician. I want to actually read his comment about age and limits for lawmakers. This is what he said. Would it be reasonable to have, for Supreme Court justices, members of Congress, and leadership positions in the executive branch, an annual sort of evaluation in which they would have to establish, yes, I'm doing okay? I think that's actually a reasonable plan. He's 64 years old. What do you think about that, Charmaine?
Well, look, Ashleigh, we have regular evaluations of all of our politicians, and it's called elections. That's the beauty of the American system, is that these politicians do have to come in front of their voters on a regular schedule in order to defend themselves. And what I find really fascinating about this whole conversation is I think it's terrific that you're playing clips of that illustrate her performance on the job, because that's what the media is supposed to do. There is no place to hide anymore. It's 24/7. It's Twitter. It's social media all over the place. They have to be accountable for what they do and they say all the time. So I don't think there needs to be a formal kind of process, because so many questions come to mind as who's going to run it? What's it going to look like? What kind of accountability is there going to be? Because I think, I want to pick up on a point that you made a little while ago, just that, these kinds of things can be used so much as a political weapon. Every time you start seeing stories like this, as a veteran of many, many battles like this in Washington, D.C., you have to wonder who's planting these stories, who's behind it, who benefits. Who benefits?
Yep, who benefits? Follow the money. I always say that. So, okay, Bernard, I also sometimes go further than Charmaine, and I say, why does the woman get hit with this garbage? And maybe it's not garbage, maybe it's truth, but why does the woman go under the increased scrutiny? Because I don't recall this much scrutiny for Strom Thurmond or Senator Byrd. I don't recall many of the men being called doddering old fools on cable news. It does sometimes beg a bigger question about whether women just don't get a fair shake.
Actually, it's great to see you again, and I totally believe that. I think that's 100% true. And at the same time, I think the greatest scourge, the greatest threat, the greatest risk to our democracy is the fact that we do not have term limits for all federal offices, including the Supreme Court justices. I think it is a far greater problem and a far more important challenge to solve than age limits. I think we should have a real conversation about the idea of having age limits, but I think we ought to tackle term limits first. One reason for that is that I would far rather have a 70-something office holder have 2 terms, 2 4-year terms, than a 40-year-old have 20 2-year terms. And that is what is happening. I think that if we instituted term limits, and I'm calling today for a national movement, termlimitsnow.org, a national movement to change the Constitution to have term limits for all federal offices, the Congress, the Supreme Court. Why? I think we could end corruption. I think we could get young people more involved. I think we need better representation. We need representation that looks like 21st century America, not some crazy version of 1950s America or worse. Why also? Because the public supports it. 4 in 5 voters have supported term limits for the Supreme Court and for Congress for decades. This is across the political spectrum, and I think it is basic common sense. There is no other democracy in the world that has the highest court having lifetime appointments, and congressional approval is at 16%, and the re-election rate is 90+. The system is broken and must be fixed. I think term limits are the way to do that.
That's a lot. That's intense. Okay, Charmaine, I want to thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.